Peace was good. My name is Daryl Omar. I was a 5 times bestseller for Amazon, but after discovering that Jeff Bezos was pretty close friends with Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, all these men were colluding with Jeffrey Epstein, working with Jeffrey Epstein, more than likely his clients, and I just can't continue. A huge part of what I do is largely dependent upon Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and Amazon for the majority of everything that I do. So it's very hard to process the idea that these men have done what they've done. Even if it isn't as bad as I think it is, and that's honestly how I've been taking it. And even that is pretty bad, considering a lot of the growth that I've had to go through in my career, a lot of the things I've had to really overcome, and honestly just kind of unlearn and relearn different perspectives of life and how what I do and what I say affects other people. I started to realize that there are people watching me and I'm not even aware. There are people learning from me that are either inspired by me or hate my fucking guts for me doing what I'm doing. And whether I would like the responsibility as a role model or not, whether I would like to be seen as a leader or not, people still see me as a role model. People still see me as a leader. People still see me as an artist. Regardless of anything, how I feel, we're accountable for what we say. We're accountable for what we post on the internet. But we're also very accountable for what we do in our personal lives and who we are and how we treat our spouses, how we treat each other, but especially how we treat children. If this was a situation of grown men having affairs with sex workers who could legally give consent, I wouldn't really care. I wouldn't be bothered. This would be someone else's issue. This would be an issue for maybe some of the authoresses to process through. And that's not to say that I don't care about women. That's just to say that if this was between two consenting adults, I wouldn't be involved in whatever kind of quid pro quo agreement that they've reached upon on their own for whatever business transaction that they're doing. When it's children, and it's children recruiting other children, when Jeffrey Epstein is basically running a Nexium for teenage young girls, young children, I can't really fuck with anybody who fucks with him. On set, on gang, like, nah, that shit's out, bro. That shit's out, blood. Like, nah, bro. It's like, it's one thing if, like, you're sitting here with the ops. That's enough, you know? But it's like, you're not only just sitting with the enemy, but you're sitting with the enemy committing crimes against humanity and doing the most depraved things to children. And their parents can't afford to live, and y'all own all businesses and corporations and job opportunities. And they still treat people like absolute garbage and shit. I think it's absolutely abhorrent and disgusting what Jeff Bezos has done. Walmart was bad enough for how it destroyed America and how it destroyed mom and pop shops and the opportunity for capitalism. What Amazon has done, this has just completely ruined society. And being led by Jeffrey Bezos, what he created might be able to be preserved, might be able to be saved, but I think it will forever be tainted by Jeff Bezos' legacy. All the workers that he treats like absolute shit, all the authors that have published on Amazon hoping that they're going to make this great living, not to mention the authors that put their books up on advertising and they see nothing out from it. It's like, it's one thing to sell someone a dream, and it's up to them to really get on the other side and climb the mountain on their own and know for a fact that, like with hard work and dedication and meritocracy, I can reach the top and I can reach the other side. But when a dude's like fucking raping children and abusing kids, I just don't have like any sense of capacity of how that person would treat an adult human being given that kind of context. I don't have this kind of mentality that like, hey, you're gonna abuse and mistreat children, so you're gonna treat me properly. It's like if you abuse dogs and you abuse cats, I don't expect you to treat me properly. If you abuse kids, I definitely don't expect you to treat me properly. And for all the adults that have children that work for Jeffrey Bezos, this man is a pedophile. Quit. Ruin this man's career. Like, just quit. Let it go. This has been something that I haven't really wanted to talk about or report on or address. I was just going to kind of do this in silence, but I couldn't. I found out about this at the beginning of the month, and it's now February 29th. It's like 30 minutes until the end of Black History Month, and I couldn't really leave this month after doing Heroes of Black History and just ignore the fact that Jeffrey Bezos is a pedophile, or he's at least associated with known pedophiles. And it makes a lot of the efforts to normalize the LGBT movement and a lot of the efforts to change it into LGBT plus and discussing minor attracted peoples is literally just conditioning to make people easier to sleep with. That when people want to speak out about their sexual assault and people want to speak out about their abuse, you are able to call them a homophobe the same way that people ignore the genocide in Palestine and call you fucking anti-Semitic because you don't want to see people get wiped off the face of the planet. You don't want to see people dying senselessly. The gaslighting, the mental manipulation, the divide and conquer tactics, I'm looking for not so much greener pastures, but maybe pastures that I can make green. Amazon is not very helpful if you're going to be an author. If you're going to shell out a lot of money, then you could probably recoup what you make and make a little bit extra on the other side. But a lot of these people who are talking about making a lot of money on Amazon, there was a lot of ad spend that went into that. There was a lot of money that went into investing that. And a lot of those books that you saw that were not successful, there was a lot of money that went into those projects. Some people's final dollar, maybe not the final dollar of their lifetime, but at the time of making those purchases, investing in those book covers, investing in these editors, all these expenses that you have to undertake for Amazon to take 70% of your work, or you could shell out more money to completely own it. It's like, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the platform that was given to me. But the whole reason why I chose not to go into acting and I chose not to go into music as I was originally inclined, and I focused on literature instead, was that I didn't want to deal with the sexual depravity. I didn't want to deal with the degeneracy. I didn't want to deal with people that sacrifice and abuse kids. So I went into books. And the idea that one of the guys that controls one of the biggest corporations on the planet, and the biggest depot for buying and selling books, nothing else in the market share compares to Amazon and the Kindle. Kobo, Nook, they very much fail in comparison. Lulu and Grimspark are in a very hot debate with one another and in great deal of competition when they probably should have had a merger a decade ago. A lot of people's response to the massive corporations overtaking the earth, people without any form of morality overtaking the earth, and people without any God overtaking the earth, is individualism and apathy and escapism. Be very honest about how much in your life is created by and controlled by people that would watch you die. People that would take a life insurance policy out on you unbeknownst to your family so that when you died, your life insurance will go to the corporation and not to your loved ones. People that will fire you right before a holiday. Like, if people will abuse kids and sexually abuse kids, that I feel like there's no limit to like the crimes against humanity that they're willing to commit in order to be successful. My final day, a number of my books are under Kindle Unlimited, so I cannot post them to any other platform until that subscription or contract is over. That's April 4th or April 14th. After April, I would be completely hands washed, free of Amazon. And it's a huge loss, It's honestly very hard. I kind of really wanted to ignore it and just kind of, keep doing what I was doing.
Are you coming back downstairs?
Yes, eventually. I'm recording something right now.
Sorry.
Thank you. So, trying to really process this now. That was like a huge distraction. I wasn't expecting that. You actually came and grabbed me though. I'll probably cut this off soon and like head downstairs. I got a family. I got a kid. I got loved ones. I got family members. I got people that are depending upon me. And, what really bothers me is that I've spent the past decade, a little over a decade maybe, leveraging Amazon. Excuse me. Sorry. Writing at Amazon, publishing at Amazon, pushing out this work. And I made more money selling the books myself than I ever did on Amazon the entire time I used the platform. And it's not like Amazon KDP is a separate section for independently published books. Like, you're just competing directly with traditional publishers that make a lot of the independently made work look terrible, to the point that many people outright refuse to read independently published work. And it's a really difficult stigma to kind of get over and develop. People ask you, oh, is your book published? Is your book published on Amazon? Because it's given this distinction and it's given this connotation, of quality, and it's not something that you really want to be associated with, even to the point that if you do have your books on Kindle Unlimited, you will be blacklisted from many of these other platforms, simply because I wouldn't even say blacklisted is the correct word. I feel like blacklisted is almost like over dramatic of the circumstance. If you're in Kindle Unlimited, you're agreeing to only sell your books on Amazon, only sell your books through the Kindle store, and for Kindle Unlimited users, the books are given away for free. If you're signed up with Kindle Unlimited, you cannot put the books on other platforms. You're not supposed to anyway. Which is why I'm in the situation that I'm in right now. There are other platforms out there. There's other platforms that I've been using, and I've been wanting to get off of Amazon for a while. The first reason I wanted to get off of Amazon was they simply do not pay authors enough to write. It's a huge sacrifice. And maybe there should be more like a sensible ideology. Maybe someone could write a book. Not so much about the basics of how to use KDP, but how to actually become a fucking author and be a real fucking author and make some goddamn money off of this goddamn thing. Instead of this idea that you're going to publish a book on Amazon and Jeff Bezos is going to solve all your problems. Jeff Bezos has a lot of problems on his own, obviously. He has a lot of mental issues on his own, obviously. And he has a lot of personal things that he needs to resolve. And I really pray for Jeff Bezos. I really pray for these clients of Jefferey Epstein and their sexual perversions and their very apparent issues, And I don't know if it's an antisocial type of thing. I don't know if it's a maladaptation to human society. I don't know what's wrong with these fucking people that fuck with kids. But we need to keep kids safe from these people, because if the connotation here and the connection, and I'm just saying that there's correlated, I'm not saying that there's causation, I'm just saying that there's correlation. In the time period that a lot of these fucking perverts have become extremely powerful, like Revenge of the Nerds, but none of us went to high school with these kids. People sterilizing entire societies of people, Bill Gates. People advocating for abortion, the Clintons. People normalizing broken families and broken households. And a lust for children all these things seem very connected. If you have a broken household and a broken family, if both parents have to work dozens of hours a week and they can't be there for their kids, you have a lot of unprotected, unmonitored kids. If every kid has social media and every kid has a cell phone, a PlayStation, they always have a direct contact to some pedophile. I don't want to go hunting door to door looking for people that molest kids. I feel like the greatest thing that we could possibly do for a lot of these people is I would hate to even make this kind of comparison, but if you would hear that one of your friends was talking about committing adultery, I think that you would send them to therapy. I think you would send them to a counselor. And I think that if you see people that have these kind of perversions and have these kind of habits early on in life, it'll be good to send yourself to therapy. It would be good to tell them that they might want to see somebody. Because if you're looking at the state of pornography, if you're looking at the state of like human relations in America, if you're looking at how other nations view America, a lot of this is predicated upon worshiping pedophiles. A lot of these people that are in high places abuse children, sacrifice kids, and rape kids. And this is something that I did not want to believe. This was something that I really didn't want to accept could even be a possibility. I just really wanted it to be a conspiracy theory. And I really wanted a lot of this stuff like the Bohemian Grove and Davos. I'm a member of Davos in the World Economic Forum. So, a lot of this stuff, people want it to be this kind of boogeyman thing. But I think that I know that a lot of these people call them secret societies. I know that a lot of these fraternal orders, a lot of these sororities, if you're not initiated, there's no need for you to understand what they're doing. It's not your business. I would put it like that, just to respect the people that I know who are in these fraternities or in these sororities. If you're not in the club, it's not wise to complain about not getting in. You just sound like a hater. So, what I'd like to do is extend the benefit of the doubt as a father, as a human, as a man who has his own sin and has his own flaw and isn't better than anybody. I would like to extend the benefit of the doubt to say, I don't think that every single person in Hollywood is a fucking crazy whatever the fuck. I don't think that. I don't think every single person in Hollywood is going to these crazy freaking parties and doing God knows what. I don't think that every single person is into this. I feel like there's a very small percentage of people, and for whatever reason, those people are able to acquire a lot of power and influence, and then you feel very forced to do whatever these people tell you to do because they control your opportunities or they sign your paychecks. And I can understand how very difficult it is to be in that situation. So as I find a way to break away from Jeff Bezos and break away from Amazon, I do understand how hard it is to look at what is happening and to truly walk away from a corrupt government, walk away from a corrupt notion of ideology that says that you're only valuable if you're rich. And if you're rich, you can commit all the sins that you want, and you can commit all the crimes against humanity that you want. But if you're poor, any minor infraction can take away your entire lifetime of freedom. It's very barbaric how humans live. And I've been trying to kind of figure out where the cognitive dissonance comes from and trying to figure out where this problem kind of begins. Because if you're looking at 2024, people are trying to blame conservatives or they're trying to blame leftists. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's it's just the same bullshit. You can go back to the Civil War and it's the same shit with basically British loyalists and like ex-Europeans who've been oppressed by Europeans for thousands of years no longer wanting to be oppressed by the British. They no longer want to live under this world of oppression, and they had the Civil War to determine that. People think it was a Revolutionary War. No, the Revolutionary War was the codified war against the British. The Civil War was the war against the British loyalists. And, you don't have to put it in that kind of perspective if you don't want to. That's my understanding of the principles of the Democrats who are the British loyalists to this very day, the people that have tried to maintain this aristocratic lifestyle over the planet and over other people, and the Republicans who are the landlords and the people that work the lands stuck in a cycle of slavery. I don't feel like there's been any improvement and there's been any answer. Because if there's one paranoid man who can just be afraid of one person, there's no limit to the evil that they could possibly do to other people's lives. We've lost so many great leaders who've tried to improve humanity. We've lost so many amazing organizations that could have really replaced a lot of the corruption that we have in the world today. And I just feel that Jeff Bezos is one of many, and these people have a sickness, but they have a sickness that is not going to be cured. They are the zombie invasion. They are the zombie apocalypse. People that have endless wealth accumulation, people that are constantly buying up other businesses, people that are trying to erase all the competition so that only their store remains. These people are the zombie invasion. They are the zombie apocalypse. People that destroy buildings to rebuild a building where the building was instead of just doing the repairs in the building. That is the zombie apocalypse. And like a hive mind, they'll try to get you to agree with them. They will gaslight you and browbeat you and chastise you and jape you until you submit to their will, you submit to their ideology, even if it doesn't make sense, even if you don't agree with it, even if, it sounds highfalutin and it sounds confusing, you don't want to speak out to sound stupid, so you won't say that you're confused. You don't want to sound judgmental, so you're not going to say that, hey, this sounds misguided. We're stuck in a place in which good has been recognized as evil, and the positive peer pressure to do the right thing has been restricted as criticism and judgmental and worthy of a fight. But someone offering you and sympathizing with you to ruin your relationships, to break up your families, to have no relationships with your parents, to have a horrible relationship with yourself, to develop self-destructive habits, it's us at the end of the day. So the world doesn't need to be saved by reparations or these mass movements. So even though reparations is probably the greatest thing that America could do to fix its heritage and move forward, even giving people a few $1,000, a few tens of thousands of bucks, just to say that you fucking did it and it was done and it was did in this honor, that would go a long way to repair things. But These people are raping kids. These people are sacrificing human beings. These people are overworking their parents to death and claiming life insurance policies on these people when they die. I just don't feel like you should plan on things getting better if you're going to continue to support these people. I just don't think that you should plan on a future or high hopes for the good intentions of these human beings, knowing that if you left them alone with your son or daughter would not be safe. And that's a very disturbing, troubling thing for me as a father. And knowing how I would react and knowing how I would retaliate if someone even suggested doing such a thing. The act of it and the comfort and audacity that you'll get away with it and no one's going to find out about it. That's evil. Jeff Bezos is a very evil man. And if he himself is not evil, allegedly he's an evil man, then the people that he associates with, the goals that he has in mind, and the things that he's trying to accomplish on this planet are pure evil. And I know I'm going to take a major hit for this. This is honestly one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do, but I have to leave Amazon because it's just really fucked up what you're like as a person, Jeffrey. It's just really fucked up what you're like as a person, Jeff Bezos. It's just disgusting, man. And there's rumors that this is what caused your divorce. It's rumors that the level of comfort that you had in hanging out with this man, Jeffrey Epstein, was disturbing to your wife, and she has warned you not to do it. I won't say that this has made me regret becoming an author. Again, I'm very grateful for the experience that I've had. If there was a way to continue using KDP without associating with Jeff Bezos, I'm not sure if I would take the opportunity because there's a lot of other issues involved here as well. But after April, I'm going to do what I can until then. I have March. I have April to work on some projects, I guess, and to get some stuff out there. But after April 2024, I'll be walking away from Amazon. And this isn't to really encourage other people to do the same, but I would at least encourage you to do your research and to reconsider shopping with Amazon. Because even if he's not a pedophile, right after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of taking advantage of a 14-year-old girl, he's out having dinner with this man. These people think they're untouchable. I feel like there's nothing that can be done to them. It's like the tortoise and the hare. And the hare is just so far ahead that he thinks that there's nothing that he can do wrong to lose this race. We're going to lap you. I didn't really care about money or finance. But if the only way to stop these people is to have more money than them, that's what I'll do.